So, a few weeks ago, we shared in a blog post details on a significant rewrite of a database and file access architecture. The new architecture, ADA, is designed to help Nextcloud continue to scale. Now, ADA stands for Accelerated Direct Access, and we'll have a look at what that means next. But it is, of course, also homage to Ada Lovelace, who is widely recognized as the first computer programmer. Now, let's have a look at why we did this rework. Now, Nextcloud is used in small all the way up to really large instances with tens of millions of users. And it has become, over the years, a deeply integrated platform with files, tasks, chat, presence, unified search, real-time collaboration, tons of other apps built by a wide community of contributors. Now, all of this is, of course, in demand, in response to the demand of this community. And a recent wave of six-figure deployments in, for example, the public sector really shows that Nextcloud is working at scale and delivering the features that organizations need. But I want to stress, while Nextcloud has become this extraordinary platform, I really can't get a halfway complete list of features on a single page to show to you. It's really unique in the industry how many capabilities Nextcloud has in pretty much any area, and this is just for files. And files is, of course, just one part of the wider platform, which is not built by a single company or a single individual, and we are just part of the Nextcloud community. There are really many organizations, public, private, who contribute, thousands of individuals, companies, partners, and together this ecosystem even goes beyond our own community, as many other companies and communities and products are part of it. As an open source project, we're standing on the shoulders of giants. So there are lots of other tools and libraries and applications that are integrated in Nextcloud and help it be the platform that it is. And all of this so that users can then use that to build their own private digital workplace. Now, we have a responsibility to ensure that this platform supports all of this. And the product has to be defined by its use. So opening a chat, you want to see documents that are shared, you want to see the tasks that are assigned, you want to see upcoming meetings, you want to be able to assign tasks from a chat message, etc. When you click a document, you want it to open, not go to a different application. Everything has to be in one place, in real time. And that means that for Nextcloud, its architectural challenge is managing this shared state and ensuring a tight cross-feature consistency, bringing it all in one place. So Nextcloud, therefore, is designed as what we call a modular monolith or a modulith. And that means things are really tightly integrated, but at the same time, it is modular. You can swap components, you can choose a different Photos app or a different Office suite, different chat applications, and so on. And you have this flexibility. Now, if you run different applications, like a whole bundle of different apps, you are limited in this integration. And if you would try to gain that same level of integration, the whole network would be overloaded from all these apps talking to each other. And that's what you avoid with having this integrated platform that Nextcloud offers. Now, the modulith architecture of Nextcloud keeps the modules logically separated, but allows for in-process communication and a central data model. And that is what allows it to scale and perform well, even in a tightly integrated way. So the ADA engine brings a number of different changes to our architecture. Now, you can find the details in my blog, and I urge you to read it, but to summarize it, there are about three main things that we changed. So first is reorganizing access to the core database and the identifiers in a way that split tables up and make more direct access possible. This also creates a base for more advanced sharding support in the future that allows you to split the databases even more between different nodes, even in different data centers if needed. Part of this is the introduction of Snowflake IDs, which are very unique identifiers. You can read more details in the blog about that. Now, the second thing we did was to replace the mount cache with an authoritative table. So what this means, the mount cache is where we store who has access to what and the access information. So this is also important for security. And the table used to gather data from different places. When you were navigating the folders, it would see like, oh, you have access to this file and you have these access permissions, etc. But doing it while you were navigating the folders, of course, reduces the responsiveness sometimes of Nextcloud, even if it is cached. So we now have created a table that is updated whenever you share. And this table will always have the information, and that's why it is authoritative. And this shifts work from read, the moment you're navigating your Nextcloud, to when changes are made, which of course happens a lot less often. This also allows, as they call it, lean data access to the file system. So essentially only getting the exact information that is needed for an operation, like downloading a file or looking at the content of a folder or getting the metadata of a file. And yeah, these improvements really save time while accessing data, so creating again a more responsive system. Now, the third major change we did is to enable direct download of files and previews on systems that use S3. So if you're running S3 as a storage, the download of a file from a client can now completely bypass the application server and go directly to storage, which of course saves time and network and extra overhead there. Now you can read all the details of all the changes we did in our blog. There's a lot more to say about it. It's a very big change and also a very long blog. And we'd love to hear feedback, of course, from all of you to hear what you think of the changes we did and how it, works for you in practice. These are the big changes the Ada engine did. But together with this change in the Ada engine, we made a few other changes that are also very relevant for this. And this is in the high-performance backends for files and the high-performance backend for Talk. So these are components written in respectively Rust and Go, and they reduce the server load by keeping connections to the clients. Now, as the Ada engine stands for Accelerated Direct Access, so this is also something that was applied to the high-performance backends. So right now, they are just sending notifications, but with the new release, they will also push information directly to the clients. So the clients will know, for example, what files has changed, and they don't need to sync with the server if no relevant files were changed for them. Or they will get chat messages or changes of people who join the chat room for Talk, pushing it directly to the clients without having to go via the server, which again reduces the load on the server by up to 80%. Now, another area of improvement was in our assistant. A range of local tasks like text and image generation or conversion between speech and text and context chat are now up to 10 times as fast as they used to be. Local translation is 8 times faster, and on mobile the assistant is running the jobs also a lot faster in the background, so it'll get back to you quicker with an answer. There were of course changes made in many other areas for this release, so not just the Ada engine and the changes to the assistant. We have previews and photos that are now about 40 to 60% faster. Fetching sharing data in Talk is 20% faster. And by removing some legacy libraries, the UI JavaScript is about 10% smaller. Now, I want to give a bit of a showcase of the impact of all these changes. And Magenta Cloud here from Deutsche Telekom is a really good example. So we have been collaborating closely with them over the years, as well as with others in our community, of course. And for example, for Hub 9, we optimized the database clustering by creating a read-write split possibility for the database. And for Magenta Cloud, the heaviest loaded node in the database cluster had its load reduced by 20 to 30% by these improvements. So that was really helpful. Now, we've been making more improvements over the last months, and all these add up to 6 times faster response times to a whole range of very common operations. For example, downloading a 10 megabyte file went on average from 2.5 seconds to 0.4. So that's really a nice improvement in performance on their systems. So Deutsche Telekom is also employing a team of engineers that directly contributes to Nextcloud. So they work together in the Nextcloud community, building improvements to various apps and tools that they need for their users. And of course, these benefit everyone. Over the coming weeks, you will see some changes in the iOS and Android apps, for example, in the photo view, that were contributed by Magenta Cloud. And we have many other customers and partners that contribute to Nextcloud in such a way. And this is really the benefit of having this large community, of course, and really helps you as a user get better software and better solutions faster. Now, of course, from Deutsche Telekom's point of view, this also makes a lot of sense. It's a real win working with our community because they are offering a sovereign digital workplace offering to large organizations. And so if you work with them, you will benefit again from all these collaborations in our community, all the improvements that Deutsche Telekom and others work on together with us. So you benefit from the deep knowledge that they have as a customer, and you benefit from the relation with others in the community, including, of course, Nextcloud, in terms of the product you get and the performance, scalability, and all the features, of course. Now, all the changes that came with this release developed with Deutsche Telekom, developed with many other customers and partners, as well as the Ada engine that we built with the changes to the high-performance backend and others. All these changes have a lot of impact. At the same time, this impact is going to grow over time while we build further on the ADA engine and add more capabilities to it, shifting more operations to this direct database access and the direct file access. We did gather for this release already a few performance numbers. I've put them here on the slide so you have a bit of an idea of the impact. And as I said, you should read the blog if you are interested in the technical details of the rewrite and want to learn more about it.